So what I need you to do is warm up your hands, take them apart, and put it together for Jimish!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Lovely to have you here.
Set the tone there so that I'm feeling a bit safer. Thanks again.
Yes.
Wow.
Looks good from the side, huh?
Looks good from the side.
But
Mic test, mic test.
But you're used to this.
The last time I spoke for more than 5 minutes was when I was acting in a play. we are so used to our lines being rehearsed. So this is nerve-wracking for me right now. Yeah, but no, it's fine. These days I'm into teaching drama, so I do speak to kids. And they look at you with a different perspective. I'm happy that there are so many of them. I feel safer with you around.
Who said the other ones are grown-ups?
Adults, yeah, I do that. I'd love if most of them are kids at heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so that's but I'm so used to everything in my life being rehearsed because I'm an actor and director, and we're all just so used to the process. This is different, but it's great. Thank you.
Where is my, just want to keep this next to me.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So yes, we haven't met, we haven't said anything other than hello. You've just said hello to understand what the concept is about, but who is Jimish? I didn't know you since before last week. Honestly.
Yeah.
You're a famous guy here, I know, but
no,
I didn't know. I just recently came to Dubai 2 years ago, but
we're privileged to be on stage and be visible, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's why I guess we're a bit more visible than the others, but no, yes, we didn't meet. We met at this Short and Sweet Theatre Festival last time, and that's where we met. Who am I? I do drama for a living. So anything less dramatic is sort of difficult. But yeah, I'm an actor. That's what I would say at heart.
Is your marriage dramatic?
My marriage was extremely dramatic, and I can say that because my in-laws are sitting right here. They happen to be visiting us. They wouldn't smile at me those days.
Okay.
But now
your wife is here.
My wife is here too.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's a co-founder.
She's a co-founder. In fact, we have this little place called The Hive. It's her brainchild, The Hive. So we are a performing arts studio. We teach drama. We do theater workshops for kids, for adults. We produce plays. It's also a collaborative space, much like this, where people from all walks of life come and sort of create content. There are music workshops happening. There are dance workshops happening. There's stand-up comedy. We had writing workshops. So basically, whatever.
Where is it?
It's in Bar, Dubai, right outside Al Fahidi metro station. It's in the Mustafawi carpet building, what is popularly called. So it's called The Hive. Look us up. It's facebook.com/live at Hive. Yeah. So my wife, it was her idea. We founded the place because. Okay, so let's do a bit of a jump cut. Flashback.
Jimish before 20.
Before 20.
Darshana is not there.
Darshana is not there.
That's not true.
He's an ex.
Is that true?
Yeah, and then there is Samar, who's a friend who was also a fellow actor, so nothing hidden there. So this is me, an extreme introvert, which I still am. I've taught myself to fake this whole
You're doing well.
swag, but I'm sweating, so yeah. So extremely an introvert. Still, I am a lot until my mom, just sort of gave me every opportunity to perform in front of either the neighbor or the neighbor's child or the visiting. They're so enthusiastic about our talent, so they push us, they encourage us, and somewhere in that, I thought I liked what was happening. I liked the idea of being watched. It was good. The attention was amazing. And what was amazing is, I guess, the ability to kind of control the breathing. I don't know if you're able to. What I'm trying to say is, when you tell a story, the idea as an actor is to let the audience be with you, and almost to the extent of controlling their breath and their thoughts and their actions and the nuances. Where you take that dramatic pause and when they think what's about to happen, or you kind of emphasize on few things. And so, yeah, I guess the idea of having people kind of breathe with you.
Did you think about that before 20?
No. This I taught myself, or I am now articulating, I should say, because I explain this complex life skill, which is drama, and I teach them to kids. So I guess I kind of formed this very recently. But no, then it was just the idea of being on stage, and just the applause was purely in for the fame.
As an introvert, drama is an amazing outlet for actually, because you just have to follow the script and you don't have to.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know why? Because it's escapism, right? I get to be someone else almost immediately. I get to rehearse to be someone else almost immediately. And then that life exists only for the lifespan of the rehearsal or for the show. So if we take up a show, I mean, the last time I was on stage, I was playing this uber successful rich guy from Norway who's supposed to be the pillar of the society, who has gray areas as well. So it's nice. You step on stage, you become that person. Everything. The world is a lot more forgiving when you're on stage, and the lights go out, and then you're back to normal. You said what you wanted to. You vented what you wanted to, and then that's that. The character is over. So the escapism is phenomenal. So as an introvert, I like that. I love it. In fact, I think I'm most comfortable when I'm on stage, because it's rehearsed. It's which also makes me believe in the art of sort of rehearsing, which means you practice a thing a million times to get it right, show after show, between the takes. I love the fact that you can be on stage and just be somebody else.
Lovely. So Jimish, before 20, any more details that can help us understand who you were as a child?
Yeah, so introvertness was sort of, that was big. I wouldn't make eye contact with anybody.
Where are you from? Sorry.
I'm from Bombay.
Okay.
Grew up in Bombay, and I moved here when I was 21.
Okay.
Like any other suburban boy, the upbringing was sort of very straightforward. Exposure was limited. I didn't read a lot. Television was the only sort of source of entertainment, apart from a few comics here and there, and the jokes people would tell you. So that was that. School and home, and school and home, and timetable, and school and home, and timetable again, and school and home, and that's that until you kind of reach college. And then college was also the nearest college, so that the parents would feel safe.
But you're doing plays all along these times?
No, so I was performing for family. Let me put it this way, with a few odd plays in school, but it wasn't as regular.
Okay.
But there was always this whole family setup where we were a big family, where I would get called to maybe mimic someone, or this aunt in the house, or the uncle in the house, or a famous actor perhaps. So those setups were quite regular. As embarrassing as they were then, I guess the idea of being applauded, that got on. So that happened. That kind of pushed me into, it's that first time you put your hand up at school and say, I want to do this.
Yeah.
The two guys walk into the classroom and then say, listen, we're doing a play. It's Christmas. We need somebody to play the mother of St. Francis. Who wants to do this? And I study in a boys' school. Studied. And they said, okay, mother of St. Francis, that's the only role available right now. Everything else is taken. And you're asking yourself, really? Would this be a decent start? And then you half-heartedly kind of put your hand up. And yeah, that changed my life. That's it. That was for the first time I was in an organized
When you became a mother.
performance. Yeah,
You became
my first role was that of a woman.
Okay.
And then again, early days. So how do you do this, right? So you relate to your own mother and the gestures and nuances, and you look at the script, and I wouldn't understand the complexity then, but that's where it started. That's where I was into for the first time in my life, into a scripted performance per se. Got introduced to the idea of rehearsals, got introduced to the idea of lights, having a director, having fellow actors, a team, a process, and then that's that. And then I eventually took a sort of dancing Bollywood, and I used to do that a lot, and then that's it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
You can you give us a sample?
A sample?
A 1 minute something? You like that tension? We'll clap, right?
No, I do not
We clap
have
before and after.
I do not have a monologue
No, it doesn't. It can be anything. You can be a character.
handy, really.
We have the Shakespeare there, the book. Do you want me to pick it?
Yeah, I could read something.
Huh?
Which was the mimicry that
No.
most sought after?
Let's see. What?
Samir, we don't like your questions, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, let me read something random.
Let's see what.
Okay.
To be or not to be.
Wow.
You want to see him act?
Hamlet.
You want to act?
You want to see him act?
Hamlet to be or
It's a wife speaking.
No, so I'll do it. Okay, no.
I'd like to see a Bollywood dance.
She
We'll
said,
see a Bollywood dance. That's fairly easy. I could do that if you join me. Then. Yeah, we could do that.
Do you need a song or something?
Yeah, we can.
we'll end it with the Bollywood song.
Okay, we'll end it with a Bollywood song.
Yeah.
But no, I'm completely unrehearsed with any. I'm not doing a play right now, so I do not know what to
Nothing
present.
is rehearsed in this show.
True.
Anyway.
Okay. Let's see. Satisfy. Beyond fatigue of your mistress. Satisfy. Let that suffice. I have trusted thee, Camillo, with all the nearest things to my heart as well as my chamber counsels, wherein priest-like thou hast cleansed my bosom. I from thee departed, thy penitent, reformed, but we've been deceived in thy integrity. Deceived in that which seems so. That's that, really? Wow.
You actually controlled our breath over there.
Yeah, but right, that was, yeah. Happy, angry, sad, hungry. What's an easier emotion? Hungry?
Happy.
Yeah. Yeah. So it starts with like that, right? With the kids, it starts like that. We take a nursery rhyme. You want to try it out? Can it be interactive? Does it have to be about me?
It has to be about you, but we can
Twinkle,
do.
twinkle, little star, so that you don't have to learn lines. Yeah, you want to practice that? Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Do you know that nursery rhyme? Who knows that one?
How I wonder what you are.
How I wonder what you are. Let's do those 2 lines. Twinkle, twinkle, thank you. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. And
Twinkle, twinkle.
Yeah?
I'll repeat.
Yeah.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. I wonder what you are.
Right. Let's get into the 4 basic human emotions. Happy, angry, sad, and hungry. Let's be happy. 3, 2, 1, go. Fantastic. Now try the other one. Try the same line as if you're angry.
How I wonder what you are.
How I wonder what you are. Yeah, the different takes. Yeah. So, yeah, it's fun. Yeah. Happy, angry, sad. Try sad. This is tough. Most people end up laughing when they are told to be
Show
sad.
us. Show us. Yeah, show us.
Where they that they end up laughing.
No, show us.
No, it's
when it
tough.
is
What
sad.
I'm saying is no, it's
But show us.
see. Well, twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are. So, now that's when it gets tough. Try it. How do you do that, right? I am still practicing that every day. So please don't say so. But yeah, I
I don't have to say it. You're going to show it.
no. Because the first thing we do is, we touch the stereotypical gestures. And as an actor, you've got to sort of dig in deeper, like conversations. So those are the conversations that we have with ourselves. Because gestures, as generic as they are, not everybody kind of understands everything. So you kind of try and find the most generic palette that works with everybody. Because in a show, you don't know who's coming. So you try and find the most sort of easiest and the fastest way to kind of communicate your point or the emotion. I don't know why I've reached this point in terms of happy, angry, sad, hungry, but well, that's what it is. The gestures and emotions and sorry, help me out here.
Hungry. We need to see that.
Yeah. So okay.
Who wants to try?
Who wants to try hungry?
Who wants to
Try
try?
hungry. Try hungry.
Sammy, let's try. Sammy.
I cannot.
You're always hungry anyway.
It was natural.
Yeah. Internalize, dig in deeper, and this is how we sort of break certain things to kids and say, listen, what's your favorite food these days? And they all go, what's your pizza? One of the most popular dishes. And the moment they talk about the pizza and then they talk their eyes pop up and they don't necessarily have to always touch their stomach and they all go, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, right? So it
I can't give that performance.
I'm going to ask you, kids are one of the most difficult or easy because they do not have belief systems or anything that is blocking their mind.
Yeah.
So did you actually choose the easy route or is it the difficult route? What
I
is
got
it?
cornered into this by my wife again. With theatre, I've always done, or I used to only work with adults and do independent theatre productions and stage plays and only work with adults. And that has its own advantages and disadvantages. But I found my comfort because it was, the same age and the groove was great. And I never thought I'd work with kids because I could hardly handle two of my own, So I thought that's a bad idea until Madame Founder comes to me and says, listen, I've just walked into a school and they've been wanting to do a play and you've been doing this all your life and it's time you share your experience with the kids and it's time you direct a play. And I've said yes. And the play is called The Jungle Book and there are going to be 300 kids in there. Hey? No, this was in Ambassador School. And so she created that opportunity for me, or a threat. At that time I saw it as a threat. And I said, how am I going to do this?
What is the threat?
To work with kids, really.
Okay. I thought
and
she's
300 of them.
Okay.
No, but my perception changed in the very first minute. I started auditioning for kids. They're never judgmental. They take everything at face value. So it was amazing. I would say jump and they'd jump. As an adult, if I had to convince a fellow actor to do something, oh my God, sometimes you got to go around and you got to change countries and come around the topic and then eventually say, can you try that? Maybe consider this. And they'd say, let me think about it. But no, with kids they say, is that what you want me to do? Jump? I'll jump. And they take everything at face value. So I now understand that it's amazing to work with kids and they don't become judgmental. They love being loved. They look at you. They believe you. And you can't lie when they make eye contact. and the gratification is phenomenal.
What is the youngest kid that you have?
Sorry?
What age you take from?
We start as early as 5. Wow. In terms of drama lessons, but that's more like storytelling and sort of interactive, sort of participative storytelling. But the active drama classes, sessions start when they are about 7, when they're able to sort of comprehend how it's being taught. It's still taught as games and exercises and workshops. So most of the times they don't even know they're learning anything. But they are. So yeah, we start as early as 5, but I mean, we're comfortable to kind of say that they'd understand a lot more at 7.
Lovely. You learn drama and theater or?
No, I'm completely self-taught. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no education related to this or certifications or degrees or?
Yeah, that way. Yeah. So I'm a certified performer as far as.
What do you mean by certified?
So because we teach drama with the Trinity College of London kind of curriculum. There isn't a curriculum per se.
There's 2 Trinities today here.
Yeah, with the certification. So I also took that exam. I got to bite the bullet first to be able to teach it, right?
Yeah.
So that way I got myself a certification as a sort of certified performer. So that way I have an ATCL in performance with them.
Okay.
But I've learned on the job. I've learned from all the directors that I've worked with over the last sort of 20 odd years, over the last 30 odd productions.
Do you have another job or is this the only thing that you do?
This is now my full-time job.
What do you do before?
I was into visual communications. I'm a design guy. So I branding and design and graphic design and everything to do with visual communication. That is what I did when I came here and came to Dubai.
Okay.
I went solo in 2008.
What do you mean by solo?
So I was working with agencies,
Okay.
advertising agencies, web agencies.
Freelance. Okay.
No, so I was working with agencies as a job. But 2008, I set up shop.
Okay. The best time to set up, 2008.
the best time to set up. There was nothing to lose. Yeah, everyone was running the other way around and I was running this side. But yeah, I guess it prepared me for the worst.
Yeah.
So I set up the design consultancy in 2008 and I ran it at all levels of sort of comfort or discomfort as far as the business cycle is concerned. And we formed the Hive in 3 years ago. That's when I started giving a lot of my time to this.
Okay.
And now I can safely say I'm full-time into doing this and nothing else. Really.
Lovely. And you've been doing a lot of plays and everything, right?
Yeah.
You've been...
Yeah, I've done a few. The last I did was Sherlock. Any Sherlock fans here? Yeah. Yeah. So the last we did was Sherlock.
You were Sherlock?
No, I was directing.
Asad was
Sherlock. Yes,
okay.
Asad Raza Khan.
Yeah.
He was Sherlock. It's a fantastic team. Independent theatre. We're almost about 40 to 50 people. We have other sort of actors here and theatre enthusiasts. Yeah. I did Sherlock. Before that, I did The Miracle Worker, which was based on the story of Helen Keller. Such an inspirational sort of human story. Meher, in fact, played the role of Helen Keller. Yeah, it's a tough role because that story is out of the world, right? Because she grew up most of her life. I mean, she was blind, she was deaf, she was mute. So that story was there. Then before that, we did the Farnsworth invention, which was about the invention of television. There was Wait Until Dark. So I've done a few, yeah.
Has a young started?
No, he doesn't like being on stage.
Okay.
But he's learning to play drums, and yeah, he's found his comfort in playing drums, and he's ridiculously good at it.
Lovely. Questions from the house?
Yes.
No question.
Have you performed in any other country?
No. No. That's one thing I want to do.
If you give me an invite, would you go?
I'd love to go.
I'm from South Africa. I'll try it.
I'd love to go. Yeah, thank you. We did theatre.
We'll do Twinkle Twinkle there.
We'll do Twinkle Twinkle. No, but there's a story. I've done independent theatre here in Dubai, where for about 15 years it was only done to raise money for charity, which means we never have enough money, and whatever dirham that we make is always donated. It's only now that theatre, I guess, is kind of becoming a commercial venture. But we did theatre for the craft, for the passion, to meet other people from other walks of life, and then eventually the cause was larger than any one of us in that room. So we were always short of funds, and that's why we actually incorporated the IO. She said, listen, you rehearsing in the streets, we're rehearsing in the doctor's reception area, in somebody's warehouse. We're always short of rehearsal space, and there was never one umbrella to kind of produce an independent content. That's why we formed it. So we've always short of funds, and hence taking a show to another city is tough. Yeah. Hopefully in the next 5 years, this city becomes mature enough to find us a lot more sponsors.
You have, yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned about the theory of
Escapism.
like escapism. So it's like you do a role for a particular moment and then you come back to your normal life. So isn't it happen that you like that role much better and then you don't want to come back to your normal life?
Yeah, it does happen. It does happen when you... Yeah, but I always believe it's dangerous, this whole escapism. I felt as an actor that I have always lost a little bit of myself with every role, and maybe gained a little bit of the character with every role. So it's a double-edged sword. That's why some of them go bonkers after a few years.
What has been your favorite role in terms of learning as of now?
It would be playing the role of this character called Georgie in this play called Wait Until Dark. It was a popular film as well, Audrey Hepburn. So the protagonist is a blind woman. Samarth was a part of that play. Where are you, buddy?
He had to go for...
Oh, yeah, he had to go, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a blind woman who's living on her own, and she's basically conned by 3 men until the very end, where she switches off the lights of her house and she uses blindness as an advantage to kind of get back. So in that, I played this role called Georgie, which was actually written for a 8-year-old girl, but we couldn't cast anybody around then. So I played Georgie as George, but as a 20-year-old with a 10-year-old mind. You know what I mean? So little gifted, special, without being stereotypically special. So I guess that was challenging. That was...
How do you get into the skin of a character? Do you have a process?
Yeah, but it's different for every people.
Exactly. Asad said something else, so I just want to hear what's yours.
Yeah, to me, it's just really, hiding under the lines. That's the process. So you just remind yourself. So an actor's job is to recreate the emotion that the playwright or the director or the playwright really wants to create. So either you dig in deeper, you try and then you use experiences from your life and other people and kind of try visualizing and remind yourself about what every incident kind of triggers. So,
The reason why I ask this is it's theatre is so different from movie acting, where you can have cuts and you can have here you have to get into the skin of the character and there's only one take.
There's only one take, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where my question is coming from.
Yeah, it's different. You've got to zone out at another level. It almost, when we do, so to get into that process, it doesn't happen every show, by the way. And I respect performers who are able to use the process to get into the zone as an actor and really have that continuity. But we've done full-length plays that last from maybe 90 minutes all the way to 3 hours, 10 minutes. And sometimes when you're on stage without an exit, it feels like 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of escapism is phenomenal. You all you remember is standing in your wings, reminding yourself, okay, this is my first line. This is my habit. I keep saying my first line again and again and again and again and again. So that in my mind, I already perform before performing. So that's my favorite moment, standing in the wings before my entry. And you get in, and then suddenly you realize that it's the end of the play. And you go back and your 2 hours are gone, disappeared from your life. So you were somebody else apparently.
And it's a very difficult thing to master, right? It's a very difficult thing to actually get into that zone.
Yeah.
So I'm really wondering over here, how do you do it with kids? How do kids get into that zone?
With exercises like these, with once they're able to relate to it, they'll buy it. Their visualization is much stronger than ours. We get corrupted over the years.
How can they go back to their normal child life?
Yeah. What is normal? That's the question.
Samir, you have to corrupt it here.
So normal is the biggest question. But I mean, of course, you offer them plays that hopefully are within the spectrum of their imagination, and perhaps 20-30% here and there. You don't offer them something very heavy. But they get in, they get out, and if they're able to relate to it, that's it. Their emotions are just too pure. In fact, sometimes you don't want to direct them too much because it complicates them. They get in, they jump in and out like that. But how? You've got to find a way to communicate the same thing. Let me give you another example. Now, voice level, right? Everybody, a lot of these kids come because their parents hold them in and say, he's shy. And the kid looks at the mother and says, you just met a stranger here right now in front of me. You call me shy in front of this guy. So that's it. Boom. So a lot of them walk in with a lot of
Baggage.
Yeah, baggage. But just to be able to let them be, put their hands up and say, listen, who's nervous? And I put my hand up first so they know if this guy, the teacher is nervous, then I can be nervous as well. So it starts like that, and a lot of baggages get... so we take complex, voice levels. Now, how do you work on voice? So a very popular exercise, warm-up exercise is counting 1 to 10. Do you want to try?
Yeah.
So how do you find your highs and lows? So we say level 1 is what? Stage whisper, which means your loudest whisper, as if you're telling somebody a secret. Try, darling. 1. Say 1. 1. 1. Try. 1. 1. So that's 1. And then say 2. Now 2 is louder than 1. But that's your normal 2. 2. Now let's try 1 and 2. So go 1. 2. Now 3 is louder than 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Yeah. So what happens is, right from day 1, we encourage you to find your 1 to 10. Find your 1 to 10. But my 1 to 10 will never be like your 1 to 10 because our DNAs are different. So let's not get into competition here. Let's find our 1 to 10. Let's do our AEIOU. So it works with those set of number. We try and break these technical concepts into games and workshops, and that's how they hopefully learn. And people who then spend a couple of years, they know that I can do this, and the change happens.
Yeah. So you have children who walk in because the parents want them to be there.
Yeah. Most of the time. Most of the time, and they hate it. I'm not blaming the parents because they mean well for the kids. But don't do it this way. And I only learned this about myself when I saw a me in someone else, that I may have done that sometimes. I may have pulled my child into something and said, oh, no, you can't do this really, in front of a total stranger. And that's it. I've kind of killed his confidence, But yeah, drama as a concept is still picking up. They would. No, it depends. I don't want to. It all depends. I mean, it's cultural. It's sort of, but it's picking up as a concept. But yeah, you've got to reach. I guess at about. The kids who want to come for the kids who want to join drama classes. I guess they're about 10, 11. when they kind of know that they want to do this. But before that, chances are your parent brings you in.
So, if you were to speak to parents, what would be the best advice if they want to consider sending the child to your app?
So I asked them, how are you going to gauge if this is going to help your child? What is the time that you're going to give him or her? If the time span is any less than year and a half, 2, don't even do this. Don't come, sign them up for a drama class and come back in 2 weeks and say, is he ready? Is he going to get on stage in the next 2 weeks? Is he doing really well? He will do well if acting is something that's in him or her. They will do really well. But give it some time. It's like playing an instrument. I can't expect myself to take guitar lessons and, until that time the instrument is controlling you. You don't control the instrument. So our body is an instrument as well. It takes time. So that's the first thing I tell them. It's a lot of, this concept is still, it still throws people off. And they sometimes ask you, why do you charge for this? But yeah, I tell them, listen, you have time. If you have time, then you're doing the right thing. If you don't have the time, then maybe another time.
Can I just add to this? What's worse that they do, sometimes parents, they will go and give that child that push and pressure, did he see doing well? And when I try, like for example, as a teacher, I try to reduce that pressure. As they walk away, they will ask the kid, was there any other kids better than you in the class?
You're so right.
Crashes
You
everywhere.
are so right. This whole, are you as good as the guy next door is?
And I hear that and I want to slap the parent.
Yeah.
I signed the contract. I can't.
Yeah. What happened in this class? What happened? What was taught? I mean, they're hardly able to articulate themselves, in terms of what they feel. Forget what being taught. So it takes a while.
And I try to get something in the kid, and the parents come and say, but this is not what he needs because I want him to talk to people. I said, no, no, it's coming.
No, a lot of what happens, I mean, the biggest issue I face is if we're casting them in a play. So if there are 30 kids in a play, they all will never get the lead role.
Why?
Yeah,
That's what the parents will ask.
it's like this is as serious as that. Sometimes there's a hand on the shoulder as well. Why? Just but we paid the same amount as the other guy.
Valid point.
I conveniently escaped.
Escapism.
No, but I can't. So it takes a while. You got to educate them. You got to tell them, listen, take it easy. There's no such thing as small role. They're only small people. And eventually they understand.
Maybe you need to make the fine print a little more bigger in the initial when they sign up.
Yeah. No, but I think it's changing.
Yeah.
I think people realize that this thing needs time, and it's a lot about how that first class is handled, first few classes are handled. So, and then I guess they're okay.
Lovely. Yes, want to ask something? Yes, Chandan.
You spoke about how you gotten used to rehearsing your lines
Yes.
before you go up on stage.
Yes.
Or before you speak up. So is it natural for a rehearsed speaker to find impromptu speaking an uncharted territory, or is it just a matter of time?
It's a fantastic question. For a rehearsed speaker to get into impromptu mode, but impromptu is subjective, which means with a particular crowd, I may go, if my line is 1 to 30, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. This is how I've rehearsed. But I see that it's not doing that in show number 21. So instead of going 21, 22, I may go 18, 19. So I may take those dramatic liberties to kind of improvise on how I comprehend, how I paraphrase, how I emphasize. Of course, there are, the lines got to be delivered, and certain, you take a role with the responsibility. As long as the general boundaries are set, with a play at least, you can play around impromptu on those, but you can't ad-lib. I mean, you take up classical plays and, you'd be gone if you try that with Shakespeare and stuff, because you only know what you learn. Now, if you ask me anything about that play, apart from that line, I wouldn't know anything, so I'd improvise to that level, where I change the way it's delivered, but I'd never ad-lib, unless it's a slightly more contemporary piece. Yeah.
Was that question from your side contained within a specific play, or was it a general scenario?
That was my next question, short one. Yes, this is not limited to play alone. For example, you've now become a rehearsed speaker.
Yeah.
In your public space, let's say in a public forum, or let's say in social life, does it also bother you, or it becomes difficult for you to rehearse or talk to people?
Yeah.
Because you've been a rehearsed speaker, you kind of gotten used to it. Otherwise, in social forums, not necessarily on stage, but in social forums. When you
Yes,
speak
it
to
does.
people.
I struggle a lot sometimes. Yeah. I struggle a lot when I'm sometimes thrown into a conversation. Yeah. But I've realized one thing. If it's about something that I love doing, if it's generally around theatre, performing arts, space, and I'm not required to lie, I'm comfortable.
Same subject.
Yeah, if I'm required to lie or not be myself or present myself as somebody else, then I'm gone. Then I struggle and I don't have the right answers and I'm a miserable speaker.
I love that context from another perspective, because you're a teacher right now and you're teaching kids, and you're teaching them to be scripted. You're teaching them to be following lines. Now that you know this, how can you prepare them so that they can be ready for unscripted as well?
Yeah. I guess it's just about knowing what you're doing thoroughly. That's all I would say. With lines, as long as you know your subject thoroughly, if you don't know it, don't talk. Or that's all I would say. You'd rather keep quiet than create unnecessary noise. That's all I would say.
Yeah.
So I would not say if you're required to talk. No, if you don't know it, just keep quiet.
Yeah. People say they have the fear of public speaking, and I say there's no fear of public speaking, there is fear of judgment.
Yes.
There's no fear of public speaking itself, because you can speak.
Yeah.
It's just that what will people think?
Yeah.
And in the context of a scripted play, there is no judgment, because you're not speaking, you're already given a line. So I'm just trying to dive deeper on what he said and seeing if there is something for the generations to come as an instructor.
No, yeah, it's true. It's a fantastic question. You know why? Because it affects everybody. And that's another thing that we ask the children as soon as they sign up. Who's afraid of being laughed at? And they all are at every age. And, we have a couple of them who are good friends. They've attended the adult workshop. And they all have the fear of being laughed at. And everybody goes like that. So that's that.
And you practice to kill that.
We practice to kill that. A is just first being you put your hands up and you kill it straight away. You accept it. Once you accept it, then you can treat it.
Yeah.
And then we go ahead with it. And of course, you find yourself the tools and the techniques, which means you fake it till you make it until about a certain extent. And then perception take over, and then, but I may not feel confident about talking to you right now, but at least I'm giving myself the tools and I'm using the tools, my voice levels and my eye contact. At least it kind of feels I'm attending to, but it does happen. Yeah.
You do adult workshops as well?
I do adult workshops as well.
What is the age limit?
The oldest we've had is 60.
Your parents-in-laws, they haven't yet?
They haven't yet. No. They'd say, why are you working so late? No, but yeah, we've had passionate people come from all walks of life. I think the oldest one was 60.
Okay.
And she was doing this so that...
Okay.
She's doing this for personal reasons, yeah.
What are you working on right now?
So we're doing this summer camp, and I'm working on this fantastic production called The Witch's Web, which is based on this Bollywood film called Makdi. Vishal Bhardwaj's first film, played by Shabana Azmi. So we're doing a stage version of it. And it's a mixture of kind of dance and storytelling.
So there's so many stories out there. How do you say I'm going to work on this and invest my time into this?
Yeah, it's something that gives you sleepless. When you look at interviews, when you listen to interviews of sort of extremely more talented and popular people, and they say, "Listen, I'm looking for the next script," and you say, "Yeah, right." No, but content is king. And you want to be able to read them, and you want to be able to say if this is a story you'd want to share with the world.
You want to interpret it in your own way.
You want to interpret it in your own way, and then and it connects, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah.
Please, sir.
There's especially like NLP practitioners and a lot of other people. They say, like he's using.
When NLP practitioners or salespeople, they know this guy is close, so let's not start the sales pitch now.
Yeah.
Or okay, let's do mirroring. So I wanted to know, being an actor, are you sort of having X-ray vision about what the other person? Oh, this guy is just acting, or like, do you feel that? And does that knowledge really hurt you? Because
You're judging people, right?
Yeah, it does happen. It takes away the fun of the craft sometimes, unless the other person immerses you even further. But knowing the craft jeopardizes your experience sometimes. When you see fellow actors, you tend to be having your own opinion on how this could have been done, especially from a director's point of view. That happens a lot of the time. And you got to constantly remind yourself that, listen, just step away and just purely see it from a story.
Not from that point, where in real life, where you're meeting somebody and say, hey, that's an act. Because
Yes.
all the, that's what I'm feeling when I say.
Yeah.
Do you judge people? Do you
Yes,
judge people?
and that added to my introvertness, I didn't realize that. I judge people. Mannerisms, and it's just second nature. But what has happened now, over the years, it's become second nature, which means I'm not aware. Until and unless I am on stage and suddenly a nuance, I do something which reminds me of something I would have seen somewhere. So it becomes second nature, observation becomes a part. But yeah, it does jeopardize the experience sometimes. And you tend to think that person is like somebody else. But it starts with the first handshake, and the moment the person opens the mouth, it's a different ballgame. But it does happen. That's yeah.
And he says, okay, we don't have the money, like something.
Yeah. Yeah, body language is what we feed on before anything else. It's about how the gentleman is standing, how it's all a subconscious body language is everything.
Oh my God, you've been reading us.
Maybe. I don't even know now sometimes, so. Yeah, we all do that, I guess.
But you add it to your bucket list of the personality you have, for example, like when you're acting, you're bringing some of people from your bucket list. Right?
Yes.
Bucket list? Okay.
Through that, you're observing people and bringing something.
Yes, we do keep. There are nuances, and there are people who'd make great characters, and I'd lie if I say I don't keep them in my list. You have to, and it's amazing, and I'm glad we are able to. Many a times, and then it takes one of your closest to understand. Did you do this because of?
No.
Yeah.
About the double personalities.
Sometimes when I'm talking at home, I end up speaking like my father-in-law, and my wife looks at me and says, "Look, he's in the same room." Just shut up." Yeah, but it's yeah, we do that.
Can we do that? Can we do that now?
Go back home. He's in the same
I have been happily married for 20 years, and I'd like to keep it that
Just
way.
ask him to do it. Yeah, she's asking me to do it.
Hey?
She's asking me to do it.
Yes.
Come on, please.
They're both arrows that are extremely sharp. With chest plate.
Remember, this jacket is bulletproof.
No,
He's
just
gonna do
by,
it. He's gonna do it. Yeah.
no, yeah, by just being,
Lovely. Thank you so much. Yeah.
accepting to do it, I
Thank you
still,
so much. Thank
I
you.
still hold respect, and
Thank you so much.
yeah, some of them need to be done in a very close space.
I understand. Yeah. Yes.
So you're right now teaching drama. So as an educator, I feel it is very important to have that as a part of a curriculum even.
Oh, yeah.
Because I strongly believe that impart a lot of life skill for the children. But do you think at the age of adolescence, when a student or a student get into a drama and the multiple personalities that he or she enacts on the stage is going to have an influence on his character formation.
Wow, that's a fantastic observation. So you're asking.
So in drama, you might be doing a negative character.
Yes.
And an adolescence is a very different set of
Yes.
age where easy absorption of characters into the mind.
Yeah.
So there are multiple cases, multiple studies happen where children actually moved into that line also.
Yeah.
So as a teacher, how do you think drama cannot produce that counterproductiveness as well?
Yeah. It's
Because the moment, sorry, just to cut short.
No, that's fine.
Just the moment he comes into youth, the adolescents actually move forward.
Yeah. See, first of all, we pick up scripts and we teach it through content which is age appropriate.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. So we're not going to talk about. I mean, so that's a given. So that normally protects them from, content that is not age appropriate. So that's the best practice. But there's always a discussion about good and evil. Let's just simplify it, which means you're either playing the hero or the villain, correct? Then the negative shades can be broken into a few other shades of black. But there's always a debate where kids want to. It's surprising how many times when you say, okay, who wants to play the bad guy, and a lot of people want to put the bad guy in you. Am I being judgmental about the kid and his sort of thinking? No, but so what we do is we just say that we show bad. If bad doesn't exist, good doesn't exist. You know what I mean? So at this point of time, most of them do this thinking that only when I show bad, I'm able to show good. Without me, good is not good enough. And that's that. So, I guess we keep it to that. We don't kind of complicate it into. But if it's going to, how it influences them into their lives, all I would say is I wouldn't only blame drama for it.
No, everything influenced.
Yeah.
But what the reason why I'm asking this is that this is one reason always being projected by a psychologist.
Yeah.
That there are some children take it very seriously into their life.
Yeah.
And it happens with everywhere. For example, even in sports, it happens.
Yeah.
Those who want to foul in football, he automatically does that only.
Yeah.
Most of the time. But is there any methodology which is developed from drama as a research part, which that can actually change it? So at the end of the day, the life skill, what has been learned as a social or interpersonal because drama is a great way of developing interpersonal social skills.
Yeah.
And I completely admire that.
Yeah.
And as an educator, I do that with children a lot.
Okay.
But how do we define the characters in terms of, even I feel that teachers need to be knowing a bit of drama to make the class interesting.
Oh yeah. We all
I feel that teachers should undergo a drama training.
Yeah. We've had a few. We've had a few teachers training as
because
well.
Because that's the way a teacher can make the class more interesting for the children.
Yeah.
But still, is there anything that is evolved out of a drama science?
Yeah.
That how we can stop, or how we can stop children from being a second character?
Yeah, that's a big question, really.
And that will be the last one because we're running out of time. But yeah.
Yeah. No. Let's just say I'm not equipped to answer that. I don't know how they're drawing up onto this thing where drama can be this sort of sole purpose of somebody taking the negative aspects and sort of taking that forward. Let's just hope that's not the case. Let's just hope that it adds to the positivity and the confidence and the positive aspects. Let's just hope that it stays there. I guess if it does go the other way, I would say there are enough and dime a dozen reasons. And
How to bring them back. The question is how to bring them back to the original. Because you told that there are certain adoptions happen. So how to bring them back to the actual person?
Deep.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But it's so again. So what we do is we write characteristics. So a part of the method, process, I'm going to try and hurry this up because I know we're running out of time. A part of the method is drawing up your character and character traits. And a part of the way we do this with kids is we tell them this is who you are and write down why you are not this person. You know? So then that list comes in very handy, where you are becoming that person, and we use that list that you are to kind of constantly compare. And it's stuff like this that you can hold back and say, listen, come back to this. This is the character. This is not you. And stuff, and things like that. So I guess a part of the characterization is identifying yourself. And only when you've identified yourself, you will be able to differentiate you from a character. And the moment you have a deeper understanding of both things, I guess coming back should be easy. I hope I have answered that question. I tried.
Characterization is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I feel that is a great thing.
No, it's a fantastic question. It's in fact, I'm going to
research on that.
I'm going to work on this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the kids are now moving into senior stages as far as drama is concerned, as far as our kids are concerned. And this needs to be addressed.
Because I work with adolescents. That's why.
Oh, lovely, yeah. So thanks for bringing this up, because that's one area we don't want them to go to. Coming back is needed, because I, as an actor, know I have lost myself playing some of those characters. So thank you. That's my take home today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're running out of time.
Yeah.
You have is it a deep question or?
Very simple question. You've been teaching children for so long, so what is the best thing that you've learned from them?
The best thing is to really say thank you. They thank you. They thank you in ways that you don't know. They thank you either by the way they look at you. They thank you by the way they greet you. And what I've learned from them is it takes you have to be a follower to be a good leader. And when they can be single-minded about following this random guy, why can't we? So follow to lead and keep saying thank you. I think that works.
There's one last question, and I'm not going to ask it. I want your wife to ask that question. Darshana.
Mrs.
Yes. I want you to ask him a question which we have not yet asked, which will help us understand him better. Any one simple question.
To him.
Simple or complicated? It doesn't matter.
We will protect you.
The parents are there.
Okay, let's pick a card.
You can take a card.
More obvious. What do you love? No, that's all right.
Huh? This is amazing. And that's recorded.
Okay. Yeah.
But don't say it. Just keep. It makes sense? It always does. All right.
Okay, as I pushed him to the teaching kids and getting into theater as a drama teacher, I would ask, would you like to go back to design? Or you want to pursue yourself further 10 years down the line, you see yourself as a designer, consultant, or a drama,
or an
actor, a director.
This is amazing. Even when I used to design, theater was always a part of, so a big part of my life. I was scared to take that step until you cornered me into it. So I'm glad you did. Thank you. I'd be on stage any given moment of my life.
Lovely. Before you reflect on that, I'd like to take reflections from you on the crowd. What were your big takeaways or aha moments while listening to Jimish speak today?
Be a good follower.
Okay. First of thing, everything take time, and also there's idea that get some in my mind, inspired by you. What about acting a good person and then be that person? If this character is good person, okay, act it and learn from this personality to make yourself better and fake it till you make it. So we can take advantage of acting in that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, absolutely, absolutely. You're right. Again, this particular play, I did Henrik Ibsen's Pillars of Society. You know, we keep blaming everything on Providence. Providence, we blame everything on Providence, saying this is not happening. It's blame it on Providence. It's not meant to be. Through this character, that's another thing. That person kept blaming it on Providence and sort of covering up his own mistakes. So I learned that, listen, don't do it. So you use the positive aspects of the character. It comes in handy. Yeah. Thank you.
There.
The first opportunity that you got to play the role of a woman.
Yes.
And this is an example for all of us, because sometimes we want to be very choosy.
Yeah.
And say we want to play this or we want to be that.
Yeah.
But the decision that you made of taking up the last role which was left, and that led you to your whatever you are today. So, I mean, for everyone, it is like whatever is even left over, just take it. You never know, right? Because that was the only role that was available, and you took it, right?
Yeah.
And that's awesome, because that was the start.
That was the start.
Yes.
And that was the start, and true. And we'll tell this to kids every single day. Just take it.
Right.
Take it. You know.
And that was it. Being in a boys' school, you have to play the role of a woman.
Yeah.
I would understand the after effects
Yeah.
of that. Yeah. There would have been an after effect.
I connected with somebody on social media after that many years, and that person still says, "Hey, do you remember this?"
Right.
So it does happen. It does bring us a chuckle. Yeah, but I got cornered.
That was the first time you blocked someone on social
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, well, thank you.
Leftovers are awesome. That's great. Yeah. Mike.
For me, it was you play multiple roles, not only as an actor, but as a director and a teacher and all of these roles. So my takeaway is follow where your heart calls and play whatever role comes naturally to you. So that aspect of you don't have to be just an actor or just a this. You could be just anything.
Yeah.
So that's my takeaway from
Thank you.
your
Yeah,
role.
it is.
Thank
It
you.
is. Thank you.
My takeaway is the humility. You've been so humble all the while. Every time you didn't know, or you admitted that I didn't know how to do this, or I was not sure, or I couldn't, because we are all trained to fake it till we make it. Yeah. And in a forum such as this, where you could admit and you could say this, I think you're brilliant.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
Just on a lighter note, I think at times you need someone in your own family to corner you. So
Yes, always. I tried stand-up early those days. You got to practice the bad jokes to get the good jokes. And you can only practice the bad jokes in front of family and friends. And it does, you can only be yourself in front of family and friends. So it does take a family to kind of corner you, and yeah, that's true. And in my case, it was my mother, and thank God, thank God she cornered me into this. Yeah.
First mom, then wife. Yeah.
Yeah, mom and wife, and yeah. Absolutely, and the daughter now. You see where it's headed. It's phenomenal. The amount of power they bring. You feel incomplete. Sometimes I'm not able to make basic human decisions without them. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal, and I'm glad it's this way.
Lovely.
I saw a moment when you were on the music system. I could see that proud father. And absolutely, you would have seen it so many times, but that joy of the girl going for the first nursery dance and the proud father sitting, that was on your face.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they
Thank you for sharing
expect you to. Thanks for that. It's.
I was sitting there and I was just watching you. I mean, I was. He was like, wow, like you're seeing it for the first time. Sure.
Yeah, it's. When they like what you do and they get better at it, and it's nice. It's nice to see them grow in front of you. You know, it's good. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Last week we had a guest who admitted that he would not praise most people in his life, including. And I see this. How important it is for her to see it. Like because somewhere whether she's looking here, that eyes are still there.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I don't know if you noticed, in her performances as well, she was seeking approval. I don't know if
I noticed.
you may have seen it as a look, but I know she was seeking approval.
And you were giving the approval too.
It was that, yeah. So it's that balance is immaculate. As much as we fight, as much as we argue, because it's tough being a father and a director. I can only be one person at one time, but that relationship is there. Yeah, it's a special bond, and I'm glad it is well. I hope it continues.
Lovely.
But thanks for noticing.
All right. Somebody wants to share?
People who are passionate about.
No questions? No questions?
Yeah.
Reflections, because we're running out of time.
Sure.
Any reflections? Reflections.
One thing about what I was observing you from the beginning, you were like, your biggest fear was to be able to and then overcome it. And I think
I noticed at the beginning of your talk, you were saying all of them are adults here. So like you clicked that like your biggest fear become adults.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is what I felt like at that stage when your wife pushed you.
Yeah.
The children was your biggest fear.
Yes.
Is it now that
Now
adults are becoming fear?
It is. It's funny because it's true. It's true because I spend most of the time with kids now, and I realize how just clean they are.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes it's just too much of walking into a meeting and then you meet another guy who's going to be judgmental about you, ask you questions you don't want to answer, is going to gauge you on the suit you wear, on the shoe you wear, on the car you drive in, and it's just too much.
So I think my take is in this, like your biggest fear is actually the best gift you can give to yourself, right?
True that.
Yeah.
True that.
Thank you.
Any more reflections? Or yeah, before you read that, I want to. It's 1 year anniversary over here. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I hope you all enjoyed this. So today I'm doing something special that I've not done before, but I'd like to offer in anyone of in your contacts or your friends or somebody that you know, if you feel that there's somebody that I could help as a coach, 45 minutes of free session. All right. Just refer them to me and they'll have a free session. All right?
That's fantastic.
Can I just also ask if everyone can give a big round of applause to Samir?
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is not. It's not easy. This is overwhelming. I've never spoken like this, and you know, this is the platform, and you do this week in, week out. Fantastic. To many more glorious, such wonderful conversation of introspection. Phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to say something? Cut. Pardon. Yeah, we're going to wind up. We can stay in the room for some more time, but yes. Any more reflections, or he's going to reflect? Go ahead.
Maybe we can just ask what's your reflection on your father? Oh, wait.
He's a very big inspiration. Everything he does, whenever I
Come
watch
on,
him
we
on
know
stage,
that
whenever he's on stage, it's kind of like I want to be like him. And even my mom first pushing me, if I don't want to do it, she'd be like, you know, you can, so you can just keep on trying. So you know, sometimes we fight a lot at home because I'd say, you know, I can't do it. And then he'll be like, you can. And then sometimes he forgets that I'm only 12 years old. But then I kind of like that because then he gives me kind of like a push. And then I like when he expects a lot from me. So I like to match up with his expectations.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you say you want to be like him, do you mean you want to play the role of Jimish?
I would.
Just kidding.
Just, yeah.
Lovely. Lovely.
You're doing amazing for your age.
Thank you.
Super.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speak it.
So this card says leadership is about inspiring people to get outside their comfort zone. I couldn't agree more. I think it's an absolute. This is so correct. Be it in life or be it. I'm just going to put it in the context of the play. Many times when you're doing a play in a city like this that didn't have the culture, you don't even know when it's going to be staged, and you just have to really get outside your comfort zone, outside your house, and just try, and every now and then just look behind. If there are people behind you, that makes it a team. If not, you still keep walking outside your comfort zone, and one day I think things happen. So yeah, step out of your comfort zone. I have, and it hopefully has worked. So you have to step out of the comfort zone. I agree completely. Thank you. Thank you. It goes without saying, for a performer, we do not exist without the audience in any capacity. Thank you. Thank you for coming, and I'm going to use this experience and I'm going to cherish it for a long time. Thanks for listening, and thanks for answering, and thanks for asking.
May I make a request, please?
Yes.
Always send invitations to any events that or theater show you guys are planning through Samir's Facebook page.
Through Samir's Facebook
page.
Yeah.
I'd like to say something as well. Awesome Walkers has been going for a year, right? And there's this one person that I have not thanked so far that he just did, but I haven't yet. This has been going from the very beginning, and I had a realization why this room is special, because every time people walk into this room as a featured guest and they have an experience of being in the room, sharing their stories and walking away, they call me up and say, it's the most amazing energy in the room. The kind of people that you bring over there is fantastic. And I tell them I don't bring anyone. So I really want to thank each and every one of you over here, because it's you who's actually made this what it is. And I don't control any one of you over here, but you come over here and keep adding value to. The only thing that I control is the guests that I bring in, the featured guest, and the venue, and the time, and all that stuff. But otherwise, who comes in here, how you add value, what you're speaking is totally again unscripted. The kind of questions that you ask, the kind of involvement that you have, the kind of respect that you give. I never tell you switch off your phones. I respect that you will when it is, because we are having a meaningful conversation over here. At every event that you go, you see people saying, please switch off your phones. I don't do it because I've seen for the last 1 year, without saying it, people switch it off. Because when you're having meaningful conversation, people will do what needs to be done. So create that. So thank you so much for being an amazing audience and supporting everything.
Samir, there's one thing I want to add. And what adds to the conversation is you as a host. And I think we have got many awesome walkers here. It's the kind of space, you never steal the limelight. And you're so subtle in the questions that you ask that I doubt if there is an awesome walker who does not cherish their experience here. So, yeah.
It's a wrap. See you next week. Have an amazing weekend.